I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, July the 24th, brought to you in part by Zactran. Bovine respiratory disease steals pounds, Zactran pounds back. Be sure to observe your 35-day withdrawal period after treatment. For more information, see your BI rep or go to Zactran.com. Shipping with Diamond Jim. Jimmy Craig has become a dear friend of mine, and I've admired him and respected him for a long time, but really got to be close with him here in the last several years. But was tickled to get to go with him on Thursday to ship some of the Flint Hills cattle. Getting back home now, been out in the Flint Hills all week, and I hope you guys enjoyed the pictures and the stories and the markets and the things that happen in the Flint Hills, and just can't over exaggerate how important that Flint Hills is to your commercial cattle industry. It's 10,000 square miles of vast grazing area there, and your best feeding cattle of the year come out of that country, and it's a major impact on what's going on in your real cattle business. But I tell you what, Jimmy Craig there, you look at the pictures of him, and I tell you what, he is the real deal. You talk about a Cattle Feeders Hall of Fame. If they had a Cattle Buyers Hall of Fame, he would be the first inductee. And I've always described him that way, as if you looked as a cattle buyer up in the encyclopedia, there'd be a picture of Jimmy Craig there. Nobody does that anymore, so now maybe you Google it and there's a picture of Jimmy Craig there. But that is just him. He's all about tradition. He's all about respect, mutual respect with the people he comes in contact with, and he's just been that way all of his life. He went to the Kansas City Stockyards right out of high school. Been doing this for over 50 years. Most of that time's been out in the Flint Hills in the summer picking cattle up like this, and then he spends most of the fall and the winter buying calves that will become those yearlings out there. So it's a full-time job out there, but he's got a way that he does business. He is nice to everybody. You know, cattle business is a people business. He treats everybody with respect, all the way down to the guys just helping bring the cattle up. He knows their name. He comes and talks to them, makes a point of it. The truck drivers, treats them like gold, brings them sandwiches every morning. They may not even have a chance to stop and get one. He makes sure they have one. Just treats everybody with a lot of respect. You think somebody like him might be arrogant or something. It's the exact opposite. He stays there in Cottonwood Falls for several weeks during shipping time there, knows everybody in town. He goes and does business with everybody in town, likes to trade local when he's there. And I tell you what, just the way he handles himself and does it, I think a lot of the new guys coming up in the business could learn something by it. Superman wears a cape, Lone Ranger wears a mask over his eyes, not his face and his mouth like we all have to now. But Jimmy Craig wears a white monogram shirt and a cowboy hat and $800 boots. And that's just the way things are. He drives a Lincoln, whether it was a Lincoln town car back in the old days or it's a Lincoln Navigator today. That's just the way he does business. But I think that's cool, and I'm all about it. And he really impresses me, and he's always been a saint to me, talking about people treating people right. You know, the market analyst guy that wants to tag along and ask a lot of questions about what's going on. He treats him like gold too. But we got to go to the shipping of the Harshman cattle there at Elmdale, Kansas, and he's been getting these cattle for a lot of years. He buys those cattle as calves, you know, and then sends them to them. They kind of get them started and then turn those cattle out. The cattle performed excellent there. You look at the quality there, 935-pound pay weight on those cattle, and those people were tickled. Those cattle were bought at a 900-pound base. Got top dollar for those cattle, 135. That would be the extreme top in the Flint Hills on the direct basis there. And it was a vast amount of cattle. They'll ship those cattle several days before they get the whole deal wrapped up. But interesting to be out there. You look at the way they do things. I showed you the way that they delivered cattle on Wednesday, and it was with four-wheelers and cake trucks, and it's more of a cowboy deal at the Harshman outfit there. And actually the best cowboy that they had out there turned out to be a cowgirl. But you look at this young lady here, and very impressive there, and looks like she's got a bright future for a long time there. But let's talk about what else is going on in the industry. You know, we talked about how the investigation got dropped from USDA on the price fixing, the gouging, went back to the Holcomb fire and then continued on through the COVID-19, and it's still ongoing. It's not done, but they did release a report, and a lot of people thought, you know, they should have come out with fines. They should have been stringing people up by their toenails and hanging them in effigy and all this kind of a thing. But really, what did we think was going to happen? If you just be honest with yourself, what do you think was going to happen? What number could they come up with that would actually bother them if they did decide to fine them? $1 million? I mean, that's pocket change to these packers. They were making more than that per facility per day whenever the height of the gouging was going on. So, you know, $1 million is nothing. 10 million, 100 million, you know, it's all pocket change, you know, compared to, for them, you know, if it compared to us, it wouldn't amount to anything. And so that's not really what we're going to be able to do. Are they going to put them in the electric chair for buying something as cheap as they can and then selling it as high as they possibly can? Probably not. They'd have to end up getting a lot of us if they did that. If we really get to thinking about it, though, the way that they come out with this initial report is probably the best thing that could have happened. They admitted that there's some things that are wrong out there. They gave a blueprint on ideas of how to fix those, and then they encouraged the industry and legislative authorities to come in there and get something done. So now's the time for people to get busy, and it's time for these legislators like Pat Roberts to get off their ass and get something done. Quit playing politics in this deal. Quit riding out in the sunset, you know, on your own stubborn terms, and do something that the industry wants to get behind. We heard a collective roll of the eyes when NCBA put out a statement on there. They were saying, oh, we've been all about you know, competition from the get-go on this. Whenever we started this, they haven't wanted to do anything. They've wanted status quo from the whole time. They're catering to the packers and their corporate partners, and they haven't wanted to do anything. Now they say they're all about it. Well, if they're all about it, let's see them put out a statement. And it said right in that report from USDA that, and they were talking about mandated minimum requirements of cash trade. So that's where we're at right there, guys. That's the 50-14 deal. You know, negotiate that top price or that top figure wherever you want to. But they were talking all about that, was encouraging the industry to do that. They were agreeing that we could use mandatory price reporting to prove and monitor that. Let's get something done. Let's see it work out now. And now they're continuing to do that, especially DOJ. They may hand down some penalties. They may fine them. They're probably going to embarrass them more than anything. But these packers are still kind of scrambling around a little bit. Probably not the head brass, you know, they might have heard something happen, you know, but they're driving around in Maseratis and things like that. But the guys that are running these individual plants, they kind of know what's going on. They were giving charity bids out early after the worst of the COVID, and now they're coming out, and it's still been giving decent prices, but now we're getting right down there back to where the market's at. And now they're forcing people to take cash, but it's not really a negotiated trade. You know, there's a price there. You either take it or you leave it. They're not going to grid your cattle like they would before, especially if they're good cattle and they're going to come back plus in the market. But that's kind of the way that things go on that, and we just hope to see something change here. But you know, the USDA has encouraged us to do it. They've showed us how to do it. And I don't know how these guys can continue to resist just because they're in a place of authority. To hold up an industry that's scrambling and fighting for its future here. But something needs to be done. Let's talk about the board. On Thursday, August live cattle futures down 65 cents at $100.85. October down $1.12 at 104.60. Going out from there on your live cattle down 20 to down $1.10. So we're seeing that the tops kind of come off of this deal, and a lot of this COVID is starting to get worse. They had a JBS plant back in Pennsylvania that's had to close temporarily due to COVID issues. We hope that doesn't get back in there, but as we saw some of our restaurants start to open up and the bars, people were getting encouraged that they might be able to get through this. Now they're deciding that they're just going to throw in the towel, and I think it could be a kind of a domino effect, and it's starting to lend some bearishness on the stock market and on a lot of things here, and I don't think our cattle markets are any different. But August feeder cattle, your front month there was pretty supportive, up 50 cents at 142.02. September down 10 cents at 143.17. You're going out from there, and your out front feeder cattle contracts traded were steady to down 30 cents, so not a whole lot. But talk about your fat cattle trade. They had a lot more trade on Wednesday than what they reported confirmed. So a lot of late afternoon trade on Wednesday, coming in through Wednesday with 84,700 head for the week. That's pretty significant. That's a lot more than they reported on Wednesday, but through Wednesday now we're almost 85,000 head. We saw our market a little bit stronger on Thursday than what it's been earlier in the week, and actually kind of steady to $1, maybe $2 higher on some of your dress sales on Thursday compared to what we'd seen earlier in the week. But Iowa had confirmed sales on Thursday, 2,200 head, from 99 to $1.01, so that $1.01, that's sure higher. And then on dress trade, 157 to 158.5. Nebraska, 3,900 head confirmed there, $98 for live price, and 158.5 dressed. Kansas, 1,200 head, $96 live. That's steady to $1 higher. And they had some rumor of 98 in Kansas that I'd had some texts on. We never could confirm that, and it didn't get confirmed on the USDA report. Texas just about 800 head at 96. But I tell you what, we're seeing more and more evidence that your Nebraska, Iowa yards, those like that, are pretty current. But they're backed up in Kansas and Texas, and your northern yards those are where the biggest gains were. They're resisting these steady prices. But heard of several deals of feedlot cattle in southern Kansas being sold and going to go to kill in Nebraska. So they would rather pay the extra freight rather than to add $1 or $2 on the market that would end up costing them a whole lot more in the long run, and we always see them do stuff like that. Box beef cutout values were higher on Thursday. Choice cuts 202.26 up $1.11. Select 190.79 up 151. Your slaughter 472,000 head for the week so far through Thursday. That's 2,000 more than last week, 8,000 less than the same week a year ago. Got a cattle inventory report that comes out here on Friday, and we know that we're going to get into smaller numbers, and we might eventually get the supply back in cattle producers' favor, but it's going to take a while. These packers are going to drag these big numbers of feedlot market-ready cattle out as long as they can, likely well into next year. But we're seeing that we've got fewer cows. They're expecting that to be 1% down at the mid-year inventory report, and that your 2020 calf crop is 1% less also, which doesn't sound like much, but if it's declining, that's a good thing. But let's talk about some of your big sales that are coming up here late this week and early next week. We want to be sure and let you guys know about them. Still a lot of grass yearlings out there, and we're at the peak of the market on those things right now. But don't forget, Pratt, Kansas, Winter Livestock's got big specials here at the end of next week. Pratt, Kansas on July the 30th, they've got a big special there, probably at least 5,000 or 6,000 head or more of yearlings there on Thursday. And then Friday, they've got a video in there too with Winter Livestock, but then Friday at Dodge City on the 31st, they've got a big special, and then Friday on August the 1st, they're going to finish up that special. But 12,000 head in Dodge City the end of next week, and most of those are going to be green grass yearlings. How about out in Miles City, Montana? Miles City Livestock, the Trailhead Summer Video Special there. That's an in-house video with Miles City Livestock Commission, and it's going to be on Tuesday, July the 28th. They've got about 3,000 head on that in-house video. It's going to start at 9 o'clock Mountain Time there. You can bid on that on the internet through dvauction.com. It'll be live streamed. You can view and bid on dvauction.com. You want to go ahead and make plans to get registered a few days before on that deal. But see what you go in there, and you can go on to DV Auction's website, and you can see the lots that are on there now. They've got the information on them. You can kind of shop through there, see if it's something you're interested in, those high country cattle up north there. And if you are, then you can go ahead and get registered and be ready to bid on those cattle on Tuesday. Elgin Livestock Sales, my friend Ted Baum there, Monday the 27th. He's got a special there at his sale barn in Elgin, Nebraska. He's got the king cattle coming in there with a couple long strings, especially this big long string of 650 yearling heifers there, be off grass, and they'll be weighing just under 900 pounds there. So you might want to think about those too. But let's talk about your feeder cattle market now. Your real-time index on DV Auction late on Thursday, 138.99, up 78 cents. Look at some of your big sales on Thursday. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas. It was mostly steady to $3 higher there. And you see these strings that I pulled out of Cattle Market Central there, load lots and bigger there, including 53 head of 1,066 pound steers, bring 125 and a quarter. 56 head weighed 982 at $130. Very impressive quotes there out of Salina, Kansas. Pratt had more cattle than we really thought, especially with their big special coming up next week. But 2,100 head there at Winter Livestock and Pratt. The market was kind of uneven though, because they had a really toppy market last week, but from $3 lower to $3 higher, but still really good, especially on the cattle weighing over 9. And look at these 8 and 9 weight loads of steers that I pulled out here. These are just the big lots of steers weighing from 800 to 1,000 pounds. And you see this one stick out deal here, 51 head weighed 904 at 139.50. I've been telling you guys all week, I've been talking about the direct sales out of the Flint Hills, but you guys know that I'm a big auction promoter. I talked about Fredonia, Kansas, out there in the Flint Hills. They had a hell of a sale on Tuesday. And then Emporia had a good sale on Wednesday. On Thursday, it was El Dorado, Kansas there. And they had a heck of a good sale. And look at these groups here that I pulled out of Cattle Market Central for El Dorado. And those are all steers there, including 74 head of lighter weight feeder steers, weighed 667 at $158. Talked to Jason Allen there at Lamona, Iowa, and he had a heck of a good sale over there too. He told me about a string of heifers that went through there. 61 head of heifers in Lamona, Iowa, weighed 869 pounds at $131.75. Wow. But the best quotes that I saw anywhere come out of Mocan Livestock Market, Butler, Missouri. Jim Herzog and Sons right there. And I tell you what, they had some cattle in there gourd green. I mean, absolutely green. Been turned out all winter and spring and through half the summer there. No feed. Said even in the winter time there, when they had to have something to eat, they just take them hay and that's it. No feed. 223 head, 759 pound green steers, 149.75. And then looky here, 545 head treated the same way, weighed 766 at $151.50. That's your feeder flash for Friday.